Today I am showing you the best Bard support guide in Season 14. Shout out to Lathyrus, you know, this sexy beast. I will be going over the runes to take, itemizations, counters, and much more to go either Fleet Footwork or Guardian, depending on what you prefer. If you go Fleet Footwork, follow it with Triumph because it's the only good one in the row. Then take Alacrity to help get your autos off faster. For the final row, take Last Stand since you build a lot of HP items, so it's easier to proc this than Coup de Grace. And so you'll deal more damage overall by going Last Stand. When taking your secondary, go Resolve and take Conditioning since you're a scaling kind of champion. So mid game is your strongest, and so it'll help you impact the game a lot more when your time comes. Then take Overgrowth for the extra HP since it combos nicely with Last Stand and helps you scale, but if they have a lot of CC, then take Unflinching. Now, for your shards, go Attack Speed so you can get your Meep autos off faster. Then go Scaling HP, and then just HP to help with your early game, or Tenacity if they have a lot of CC, but if not, you can just go also Scaling HP. So if your preference is Resolve on Bard or feel like you need more peel, then I recommend going Guardian since the others pretty much suck on Bard. Then go Font of Life since you'll be building healing items that help scale this rune, and it'll work really well with your Meep autos and Q. Next, Conditioning, once again, just to help you impact the game more when you hit the mid game. Last one for Resolve, you'll go Revitalize since you'll be more of an enchanter support with this rune page, but you can go Unflinching if they have absurd amounts of CC. For your secondary, go Domination and take Eyeball Collection since you can get the passive stacked super fast due to all the roaming you'll be doing as Bard. Then you'll want to take Relentless Hunter since this will improve with your roaming and help you collect chimes faster. And finally, the shards. Same as before, attack speed to get your Meep autos off faster, scaling HP, and then tenacity for versing a lot of CC. Or go for extra HP if you feel like you need help in the early game. But if not, once again, take scaling HP. For what to build when you take Fleet Footwork is as follows. World Atlas, of course, then when you can upgrade it, go Blood Song. Then for your second item, depends on if the enemy has more AP damage or more AD damage. Choose between going Frozen Heart or Canik Runekin. Now, by the time you finish Frozen Heart, your magical footwear should be active, and so you'll build Boosts of Swiftness every game since it gives you better roams and helps with getting into position to land double stuns in teamfights. However, if the enemy have heavy AD, then in that case go Plaid Steel Caps, or if they have lots of CC, take Merc Treads. After that, for your fourth item, you can just build the other item that you didn't build in your second item slot. Now, for your fifth item, you can go Knight's Vow if you have a primary carry that you need to peel for. Otherwise, take Imperial Mandate since you can easily proc the passive with your Meep autos, and it allows you to carry with some magic damage. Otherwise, you can go other tank items once again, depending on what you need more, like more magic resist, go Abyssal Mask or Force of Nature. But if they have a lot of AD, Unending Despair is a good one. And for your sixth item, go one of the items mentioned in the fifth slot that you feel you need. Now, for what to build, if you went Guardian, you'll go World Atlas, then upgrade it into Solstice Slay, since it works well with the rune tree and synergizes great with Bard in general. Then try to get Boots on your first back, so go Swifties since it's the best, or Plaid Steel Caps when versing heavy AD. But if they have heavy CC, then Merc Treads is what you want. Third item to build is Frozen Heart since it's just busted right now, but you can also go Knight's Vow if you have one soul carry you need to peel for, but if not, Frozen Heart is the best. Fourth item, go Locket since it combos very nicely with the rune setup and gives you pretty much everything you need stats wise. Then for your fifth item, go Redemption since it's really good with helping all your healing / shielding you have. And for your final item, if you want some damage, go Imperial Mandate, and it's really good since it gives you even more movement speed, which is what you are primarily getting it for, since it's a very easy passive to proc on Bard. But if you don't want extra damage, another item you can go is something like tanky, like Canik Runekin, if they have a lot of AP damage, or if they have a lot of AD, go Unending Despair. Nothing really counters Bard since he's very versatile in the sense that he can just leave lane if it sucks and roam, or during the mid game use his ultimate and his portal to pick off enemies that overstep. But some things to keep in mind are as follows. Bard is good against hook champions because he can play in the wave and still be able to stun them while they can't hook you. Hence, champions like Nico, Zyra, and Zillion just destroy you because they have an ability that can stun you while you're in the wave. For some engaged champions that counter Bard are things that can get on you even though you're in the wave. So things like Leona and Pantheon can wreck you, since Leona has her E which goes through the wave and allows her to dash behind Bard. Then there's Pantheon that has a literal point and click ability which gets him around the wave. Now for champions that Bard counters are things like Nautilus, since his CC is a hook which can be blocked by fighting him in a wave. Bard also counters Enchanter champions, since it allows Bard to roam freely without the fear of his ADC being engaged on, since most enchanters stand 2 screens behind their ADC. The best synergies are as follows. Ezreal is probably the best synergy, since he can stay safe in lane by himself, which allows Bard to roam freely, and even in the lane they are good together, since they can just poke out the enemy and use Bard W to out-sustain them. Now Karthus is another champion that works well with Bard roaming, since he can clear waves by spamming Q to avoid dives. But also in fights, Bard Meep autos slow enemies, which allow Karthus to land his Qs a lot easier, which just makes him bloody perfect to lane with. Jhin is also very good, since you can auto with your Meeps to slow your enemies, which will allow Jhin to land an easy W, and then you can get in position to stun them. But not only that, Jhin has 0, and I mean 0 mobility. So by you having your portal, he can suddenly escape enemies at a moment's notice. For your abilities, your passive is called Traveler's Calling, which will spawn chimes every so often, and when you collect them, you get a decaying movement speed buff, which also regens mana based on how much mana you are missing, while also giving you XP, and the more you collect, the more damage your Meeps deal. Your Q is called Cosmic Binding, and is also a slow that stuns enemy if it hits a second target like a wall or another enemy. Then your W is called Caretaker's Shrine, which is a heal that gives you a decaying movement speed buff, which becomes stronger if you let it charge up. Your E ability is called Magical Journey, which goes through terrain making a portal for you, allies, and enemies to get help around faster. For your ultimate, it's called Tempered Fate, which makes everything it touches invulnerable, like towers, enemies, allies, objectives, and even yourself. Tips and tricks on Bard. For my first one, it is Q Flash. Now you see how if you flash Q, it gives them a lot of time to react, but if you Q then flash, you give them almost no time to react. For my final tip, your ultimate makes everything invulnerable, which means you can stop herald charges with it. Now for the laning phase, at level 1, take Q, and then before you go to lane, 3 chimes spawn before you need to leash or go to lane. So 2 of the chimes spawn at 30 seconds, so collect them, and then the third spawns at 1 minute 15, so you have plenty of time to collect that one before having to leash at 1 minute 30. Now the reason you want to collect your chimes before going to lane is because it helps you get level 2 faster than anyone else, since collecting all 3 allows you to level up after 1 full wave and the second wave's first 2 melee minions, rather than needing a full wave and the first 3 melee minions from the second wave. Now once you get to lane, whenever you get your Meeps or Fleet Footwork, walk up to auto the enemy when they go to auto minions, and even use the bush to help weave in and out to auto without taking damage. Once you're level 2, take a point in W and have your Ws charging in the back, so you can just walk back and heal up if you take a bad trade. Also, throughout the whole laning phase, you should be taking quick trades since your champion is made for playing the sustain game, and when you get the opportunity, take your time to get chimes so you don't run out of mana. At level 3, you'll take a point in your E, and now make sure you use it to get to lane faster, help with roaming, escaping ganks, or helping with ganks. Once you're level 4, you'll go another point into W if you're versing heavy poke, otherwise just go and max Q. And once you hit level 6, that is when the real fun happens, because you can look to dive the enemy, or if they have Herald, look to stop Herald charges. You'll take a point to your ultimate, then you'll max your W, then you'll max E, and your ultimate whenever you can. The way you're going to play team fights is is you want to look to land double stunts with your Q. Now for using your ultimate depends on two things in a team fight. If you have a lot of assassins, you'll want to ult the enemy front line so they can get to the enemy back line easier and just murder them. But if you have a good sustained damage and can easily deal with the tanks, then maybe consider ulting the back line so you can deal with the front line and then finish off the back. And if you don't really know what to do, just ult at least 2 people so you can have a 3v5 and you'll win the fight no matter what. And that's all, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe, comment on what champion to see next, and I'll see you later.